Today we're going to be talking about the Murdaugh case. The Murdaugh family was a very prominent legal family from South Carolina's Low Country. 3 members of the family served as a solicitor from 1920 to 2006. Alex Murdaugh and other family members have been involved in several investigations. There were several murders, corruptions, insurance fraud, and the theft of insurance payouts and drug charges.
A lot to go through.
In 2019, Alex's son, Paul, and other family members were involved in a deadly boating accident. In June of 2021, Alex, his wife, and his son were killed. In 2015, Stephen Smith was found dead. On February 2nd of 2018, Gloria Satterfield tripped, fell, and died. In February of 2019, Mallory Beach was killed in a boating accident, which is the fatal boating accident. Paul and Maggie, which was Alex's son and his wife, were killed on June 7th, 2021. Alex and his assisted suicide. On February 2nd, Gloria fell at the Murdaugh home. Here, I'll run down Gloria real quick.
But this case still isn't figured out to this day. There's so much different murders going around. And most of them they said it was accidents, but from what I've read, I have no clue.
Gloria fell down the steps at the Murdaugh's house and died. Some people think that she was pushed down the steps. The fall made Maggie wake up. Maggie was Alex's wife, and after she woke up, she woke Paul up, which was Alex's son, and called 911 at 9:24 a.m. Alex was at work, which was about 20 minutes away. Maggie called him at 9:45. They called 911 at 9:24. That's about a 20-minute difference. Alex rushed to the scene and arrived before emergency services, who were there at 9:41. But if Maggie, called him at 9:45, there was no way he could have been there 4 minutes earlier than what she called him at.
No way.
Before Alex got there, Paul tried to sit her up, but somebody told him to turn her loose, so she fell over again. And when Alex got there, Gloria was sitting on the stairs. Before EMTs arrived, Gloria was speaking gibberish. Alex said the dogs tripped her up. I don't know how to say this word. Hyponatremia, possibly, which is when your sodium levels get way too low. Could have been the reason for her fall, because she did have that. But we still don't know why she fell, but we do know that she fell hard. She died in the hospital because she had pneumonia and had developed fluid in her lungs, and she had a heart attack and coded. She appeared to have gotten an anoxic brain injury, and went into a deep coma. But that's Gloria. But she was their nanny and house sitter. She was all that for them for over 2 decades. And then that happened and she died.
That's not even half of the story. There's so much different.
Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy surrounding it too. But she was 57. Alex told Gloria's sons that he would be responsible and that he planned to sue himself so that they are financially taken care of. But the family said they never received any money. And almost a year later, in February of 2019, Mallory Beach, who was 19, went missing after a boat crash. And I don't have a lot on Maggie, but Maggie was 19, and she died, obviously, from the boat crash. But her body was found after a week of searches in a marsh area near a boat landing in Beaufort County. This is local, too. This is in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
In March, Mallory's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Beaufort County bar, convenience store, and 2 homeowners who gave Mallory and her friends who were underage alcohol the night of the crash. The lawsuit only named Alex Murdaugh, Buster Murdaugh, which was Alex's other son, and Parker's convenience store. Buster was Alex's other son. On April 18th, 2019, Paul was indicted on charges of boating under the influence causing death and 2 counts of boating under the influence causing great bodily injury.
Oof.
On May 6, Paul pled not guilty to all charges. On June 4, 2021, the court ordered mediation in the wrongful death lawsuit files, which appeared to make the case bound for trial. 3 days later, on June 7th, Alex found the bodies of Paul and his wife Maggie at their hunting lodge. The day after they were murdered, authorities confirmed their identities and referred to the accident as a double homicide, and then they said there was no threat to the public. On June 11th, a graveside service was held for Maggie and Paul. On June 14th, the coroner confirmed that Paul and Maggie both died from multiple gunshot wounds. The estimated time of death was between 9 and 9:30 p.m. Alex placed a 911 call at 10:07 p.m. Alex's brothers and Sled were asking people to come forward if they knew anything.
A whole bunch of different murders.
Sled released a few heavily redacted documents on what deputies discovered that night. From the info that they found in the Murdaugh investigation, Sled says they're looking into the 2015 murder of Stephen Smith. On June 25th, Murdaugh family members announced a $100,000 reward to anyone with any info on the double homicide of Paul and Maggie. On July 7th, attorneys representing a survivor of the deadly boat crash filed a petition for law enforcement to shift the blame from Paul Murdaugh to their client, Connor Cook. Connor Cook was a survivor of the boat crash. On July 22nd, 2021, Sled released a 911 call the night Paul and Maggie were killed. On September 2nd, 2021, the PMPED law firm starts investigating Alex after finding a suspicious check on his desk. They said their investigation revealed that he was taking money from the firm and from clients for his personal use. On September 3rd, he was confronted about stealing money, and they asked him to resign, which he does that afternoon. And the next day, on September 4th, Alex gets shot in the head while changing a tire. Weird. September 6th, Alex released a statement that says he's resigning from his law firm and going to rehab. Later that day, so on September 6th, PMPED confirms that Alex was stealing money from them. On September 8th, Alex's law license was suspended. On September 10th, a spokesperson for Alex released a statement saying that Alex's shooting wasn't self-inflicted and that he sustained a skull fracture and the gunman was driving a blue pickup truck. On September 14th, Curtis Edward Smith, who is 61, was arrested for assisted suicide in the shooting of Alex. Alex admitted that he set it up for his son so that his son could get a $10 million life insurance policy. I guess Alex could go ahead and tell that everything was not going good and that he was going to end up in trouble. So he wanted his son to go ahead and get that money. But Alex's attorneys issued a statement saying that Alex battled opioid addiction for 20 years, and the guy that shot him was one of his drug dealers. On September 15th, Alex is named chief defendant in a wrongful death lawsuit about their housekeeper and nanny, Gloria. Sled announced they were opening a criminal investigation into Gloria's death. On September 16th, Alex turned himself in for his connection to the insurance fraud charges and is given a $20,000 bond for the insurance fraud charges stemming from his attempted suicide plot. The guy that helped Alex got a $55,000 bond. On September 18th, Curtis, the guy who shot Alex, said in a was setting him up. My throat hurts. On September 20th, Connor, who is a boat crash survivor, filed a lawsuit against Alex, Buster, Alex's son, and the store employee for their alleged roles in the crash. September 23rd, Sled released a statement saying agents have uncovered other potential crimes while investigating Paul and Maggie's death. On September 27th, Gloria's sons filed paperwork saying that he wanted Alex arrested until he pays them the money he owes from their mom's death settlement. September 28th, Stephen Smith's mom said in an interview that they started a fundraiser to get Stephen a headstone. And here's some more on Stephen Smith. Stephen Smith was young whenever he got killed. His body was found on July 8th, 2015. He was only 19 when he died. which Mallory was 19 whenever she died from the boat wreck too. A passerby who was on his way to work saw his body in the middle of the road and immediately called 911. When investigators got there, which was around 4 a.m., they saw a severe wound on his head that looked like he had been shot, potentially been shot. Eventually, a medical examiner ruled his death to be a vehicular hit and run. But that wouldn't really make sense because why was his body in the middle of the road if it was just a hit and run? He should still be in the car. But his shoulder was partially dislocated and his head injury could have been from blunt force trauma. So a hit and run was their final decision. His body didn't have any other minor bruises and his shoes were loosely tied, which is weird. When people were getting interviewed about Stephen's death, there were rumors of a small group walking with him that might have killed him. None of those accusations could be verified, though. Stephen was openly gay, and there were claims that Alex's son, Buster, and Stephen might have possibly been involved in a relationship. Nobody confirmed that statement, and Buster did not respond to any calls for an interrogation about him and Stephen. The case remained unsolved until Paul and Maggie were murdered, and they started investigating Paul and Maggie's murders, and then SLED found some info related to Stephen's death, and they reopened the case. They still haven't revealed what they found, but hopefully they'll reveal it soon.
And if we find out what they did reveal, we'll put it in the comments or maybe even make another video on this. But I doubt that. And there's still so much we don't know. There's so many different conspiracy theories. This whole family's messed up, honestly. And I've heard some conspiracy theories about the dad doing all of this, but there's no telling.
On October 4th, Gloria's law firm that represented her estate announced that a settlement was reached in the case. On October 8th, Corey Fleming's law license was suspended after he was accused of helping Alex funnel money from Gloria's wrongful death settlement. Corey Fleming was somebody that worked with Alex and supposedly assisted in him stealing money. October 14th, Alex was taken into custody and was charged with 2 counts of obtaining property by false judgment in connection to Gloria's wrongful death settlement. On November 4th, Alex and Curtis were both indicted on multiple charges in connection to the assisted suicide plot. On November 10th, Alex is denied bond following a psychiatric evaluation. On November 19th, Alex is indicted on nearly 30 criminal counts stemming from Gloria's wrongful death settlement. On December 6th, Gloria's attorneys filed a suit against Bank of America and claimed that the bank helped Alex's financial crimes against Gloria. On December 9th, Bland Richer, I think that's how you say it, who represented Gloria, filed a lawsuit against Curtis Smith, claiming that Alex paid Curtis $2 million over 6 years and that the money should have gone to Gloria's family. On December 13th, Alex is given a $7 million bond for charges stemming from South Carolina state grand jury indictments. On January 10th, Alex's attorneys wanted Alex's bond to be reduced so his family could pay the bond. Alex's attorneys stated that Alex was too poor to even pay a phone bill. On January 11th, Corey Fleming had his law license suspended for helping Alex with Gloria's wrongful death settlement. On January 18th, Alex's attorney's request to lower his bond was denied. And on January 21st, South Carolina grand jury indicts Alex on 23 criminal charges. In early 2022, the Murdaugh's estate, where Paul and Maggie were murdered, goes up for sale for $3.9 million. On March 16th, Corey Fleming is indicted on 18 charges involving the theft of more than $3 million in insurance fraud against Gloria's family. March 17th, Corey's bond is set at $100,000. On March 31st, Alex signed a confession of judgment which gave Gloria's family more than $4.3 million. On June 3rd, Gloria's family's attorneys confirmed that law enforcement planned to exhume Gloria's body to investigate into her death. On June 7th, it had been a year since Paul and Maggie were killed, and still no arrests have been made. And on June 16th, South Carolina Supreme Court decided to revoke Alex's law license. June 28th, Alex and Curtis are indicted on all sorts of new charges from criminal conspiracy to money laundering. On July 12th, SLED lets Alex's family know they plan to charge Alex with the murder of Paul and Maggie, so a double murder. On July 14th, Alex is indicted on 2 counts of murder. On July 17th, Stephen Smith finally gets a headstone after 7 years since his passing. On July 20th, Alex pled not guilty for the killing of Paul and Maggie. On August 11th, Curtis has his bond and house arrest revoked because of 26 unauthorized trips. On August 17th, Alex's attorney had a press conference and demanded to see all of the evidence against Alex in the murder of Paul and Maggie. On August 29th, the judge sides with prosecutors and says that the evidence in the double murder case aren't related to the public until Alex's trial in January. On October 13th, Alex's double murder trial is set for January 23rd, 2023. And that's it for the Murdaugh case until maybe we might do another part
Hopefully.
if they find out anything else on January 23rd.
And if you have any conspiracy theories about this, please put it in the comments.